Alright, so I was just going to shoot a quick video today. I'm going to do a little work on my Patchbays, or one Patchbay anyway, and some effects pedals and such. So I thought I'd show you the process. I like Patchbays, I have lots. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so what I'm going to work on today is this, the main rack to the left of the desk. It's got the mixer, all the pedals, some synths, and some more pedals. There's lots of Patchbays here. This one is actually, everything that goes to the mixer actually goes to the Patchbay first, so it's easy to patch synths into effects. So like this is all the synths from this side of the room. So all these rack guys all go to here and then to the mixer. A similar thing happens on the other side of the room. I'll show you. Down here, there's two Patchbays actually because I needed more space. But everything on this side of the room goes through those and then to the PreSonus NSB stage box, which is networked over to the mixer. So it's a very similar thing, but just through the stage box. So what we're going to work on today is this one, which doesn't have any kind of labels or anything. I got it to use for effects because I have, as you can see, a bunch of pedals and stuff, and I wanted an easier way to plug them in. Initially, I think I'm just going to hook up the stereo effects, and then eventually I'll get enough cables to do some of the others, but it's an absurd amount of cables. That's why I haven't done it so far. So I'm not going to normal anything. I'm going to turn everything, all of them on through, so it means nothing automatically connects, the top doesn't automatically connect to the bottom at all. And so basically the only thing I have in it so far is this third dimension Roland knockoff thing from Clark Technic that I got for dirt cheap. I just have it in the first slot. So I counted and I have enough cables to do most of my stereo effects up here. So I really want to be able to use the Bim Bam and Bomb some more. So I'm going to put those through it. So you got stereo in, stereo out. So that's like 6 stereo cables right there. And then I've got enough to do these two also, the Dreadbox Raindrops and Darkness. And once they're through the Patchbay, I think I'm going to be way more likely to use them. So anyway, here we go, fun stuff. Okay, so one more thing before I start. Since I'm doing a Patchbay tour, let me finish. The desk also has a Patchbay, surprise, surprise. It has the two of the outputs of my central station, which is my monitor controller, so I can switch between a couple things. And it's all set up normal to the Quantum 4848, which is the main interface I use. And then also I have a couple outputs going to the Roland VR1 HD for if I do video stuff. Other than that, it's just the extra outputs of the Quantum. It has 4 sets of DB25 IO, 3 of which are used for my 3 500 series racks, and the 4th one is just going to the Patchbay for extra stuff. So like right now I have the CXM 1978 reverb and the Generation Lost Mark II on the desk plugged in to the Patchbay. So that's the kind of thing I do with that. So that's what that Patchbay is for. And I showed you this before. There's actually 2 on this side of the room. There's a lot of empty space in this one. I just needed 2. Partially because the Euro rack, I'm using the WMD performance mixer, and it's got this output that outputs all the channels. So that's 16 channels worth just that. So it takes up a lot of space in the Patchbay. And then otherwise it's all the synths and stuff. And then the last thing is the Moger Foger rack thing, which I made a long time ago. These are 2 Patchbays that basically just take pretty much all the I/O of these 6 Moger Fogers into the Patchbay, and that required a bunch of like potentiometers and stuff on the back because several of the outputs didn't behave correctly. So I did this probably like 10 years ago, and it required a ton of research to figure out, but basically it just replicates the I/O on the back of these pedals in Patchbay form. So now we're going to get started on this fun box of cables. Alright, got those done. That wasn't so bad. Looks pretty cool, the red and black. Alright, around back, it's still a mess. So basically, your outputs go to the top row of the Patchbay, inputs go to the bottom row, just to be consistent. So the signal comes out of the top on the front, goes back into the bottom. And yeah, mess o cables. So now I'm just going to use some wire ties, label some things, and test things out. Okay, cool, that's it. I just labeled the pedal end at the moment. I'm going to make sure everything works and I like the way it is before I bother labeling the Patchbay end of the cable. But you know, I just use my trusty Dymo Rhino 4200, and actually I reused most of the Bim Bam and Bomb labels from the cables that used to be plugged into them, which that does work, by the way. You can reuse them kind of once and they don't fall off. So the last thing I'm going to do, I got this thing. The rest of my Patchbays, I made these in Adobe Illustrator and had them printed and laminated, then I painstakingly punch them out with a hole punch and stick them on. Since this one's a little bit more possibly ever changing, I'm going to try out one of these Trace Audio write your own Patchbay labels, and they make these for all sorts of popular Patchbays. I have these Behringer ones, and you basically write on them and stick it on there, and I guess you can still clean it off. So I'm going to open this up and see how it works. I'll let you know. Alright, here's a lovely view of my floor and my feet. I just thought I'd walk you through this in case it's interesting to anybody. I just got a 1-pack for now. I was going to see how it works. They sell them like in 5-packs and stuff too. Okay, continuing. Alright, it seems like it's a vinyl material that's probably been cut on a vinyl cut machine. Peel from this end, and it looks like, yeah, all the holes are pre-cut out. So here's a little write your own label tips and tricks. Recommends writing them before peeling off the backing. Ultrafine Sharpies work best. You can easily clean Sharpie off with a label using small amount of isopropyl alcohol and on a paper towel or cotton swab. Expo brand Vis-a-Vis erase pens work but are prone to wipe off. The label can be removed and reapplied multiple times before losing its stick. Well, there you go. So I guess I don't think I have a wet erase pen. I'm going to find a good Sharpie that actually works, and then I think I might just go that route. And since these are all like not normaled and same thing on the top and bottom, I think I'm just going to write the pedal name in the middle just to keep it simple. Okay, so that worked. I used, is this ultrafine? I used an ultrafine point Sharpie, and you know, my handwriting's terrible. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, it seems to work, doesn't rub off, so I guess according to the manual you can use alcohol to wipe it off. So let's try sticking this thing on. Peel from this end, here goes nothing. It is well cut. We have none of these holes trying to, well, I guess one thing that could be a problem is that the screws are already in it, but you know, whatever. This is perfect fit. Very lovely. Just kind of smooth it out from the middle. They'd probably look better if I took the screws out and put them through the holes. Anyway. I would recommend these. These are cool. Okay, so I guess that wraps this up. I'm going to test it now. Nothing very interesting about that. Here's a better view of this. Again, you know, if you had good handwriting, this would probably look a lot nicer. And also, I'll probably take the screws out one by one and stick it down. But overall, I like these Trace Audio things. I'll put a link to them. They also make this really cool, it's like 3 IEC power connectors to 1 power plug, which you have to watch your amperage and stuff so you don't start fires. But I got that for the power supplies for my 500 series, and yes, I did test it first. I have one of those meter things, and it only totaled like 1 amp, so it was fine. So that saved like 1,000,000 cables. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about Patchbays or the like, let me know. Bye.